Are they now saying the quiet parts out loud? We're going to talk about a study coming from London, coming from the UK, that will affect us. Not only that, we're going to talk about some good news for the former president. And then there's some scary news. Just like we talked about yesterday, the dangers of the Chechens and things like that at that guy's house. 2 more stories that should blow your mind. Let's jump into these things today. Things that people don't talk about, the headlines that you miss. We're going to jump into it today. This video starts right now. Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so very much for being here today. If you are new to the channel, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up. That sure does help us stay in the algorithm here at this wonderful platform. And we need your support. So please give us a thumbs up, subscribe below, comment below what you think about these stories. Have you heard some of these stories or not? So one of my favorite videos to do is when we talk some rapid fire headlines and that we can just talk about it, get perspective on it, and say, you know what, let's gain some wisdom from it. Also, there's just a few days left of a giveaway. I'm going to be discussing that in just a few moments. Now let's talk about these headlines. First, let's talk about the UK and how it affects us, because it seems like everything that we get kind of gets implemented in the UK and in Europe first. Richie Sunak came out and said he is wanting to see national service reinstated, meaning just like we talked about with Ukraine, wanting the draft to kick back up. Now national service is doing that, saying every male at 18 needs to serve, because we need to get a feeling of prosperity, but also a feeling of pride in the UK. Now here's the problem. First of all, the draft here, if it comes back, I think that's a bad thing. I think you need a volunteer style army. However, if we keep putting ourselves in wars, I believe you're going to have to see a draft come back, and that's exactly what I think you saw in Ukraine. If they were not in war, they wouldn't be asking for conscription. If we see UK not wanting to put more wars and implementation of war on their country, I don't think you'd see national service be re-enlisted and draft starting back. Do I believe you need pride in your country? Yes. Do I believe that you should serve your country if you feel that obligation? It's Memorial Day. We have been blessed with people serving our country, and that gives us freedom. However, what I believe we're doing is we are setting ourselves up, and also UK, for conscription, for national service draft, whatever you want to call it. But ultimately, we're not worried about freedom. We're not worried about taking care of our families. We're worried about pushing a narrative that these wars have done, these endless wars. And I think that's scary. When you hear the leader of a European country, France has already said this, Ukraine of course have said it, but now you're seeing UK. That European way is going to maneuver right into America. Be careful of that. Now one more story from the UK. London mayor came out and said, we will implement 15-minute cities. We will implement no gas, no petrol being able to be used. If you don't agree, we will cut your funding off. Now, that is what he was saying. He was saying that we're going to implement it. If you don't abide, by the time digital currency comes in, we will be able to stop you from banking. You don't believe that's coming? The man is saying the quiet parts out loud. Both of these guys are not proven leaders, but they are basically carrying a lot of that Western European morale and that way of looking at life and this new push for this global agenda, and I believe it's going to haunt us, and we're seeing the same thing in America. Now let's talk about some good news, because Trump just got some good news, and also the fact of this Libertarian candidate, and the big play was Trump got booed at the Libertarian convention. Well, let's talk about who they actually elected. Before we do, let's talk about today's sponsor in a major giveaway. Today's sponsor of the video is Pain Safari, one of my favorite sponsors, not only because they have a great item, they're also doing the Rocky Ridge giveaway, which is this truck right here. I've partnered with Pain Safari to give one of you a fully customized Chevrolet Z71. America is definitely not as safe as it once was, and it's getting worse by the day. Have you seen the cities? Along with the crime in the cities, the open borders, you never know what kind of situation you're putting yourself in. And then on top of that, when things happen, it seems like all these cities and all these places are just letting these people off scot-free. That is why we push this product, the Pain Safari Shockwave Plus. Carry a firearm, more power to you, and I believe that. But there's some people that's just not comfortable with that. Well, here comes this little flashlight. Now, of course, it works as a flashlight, a great flashlight at that. But there's a safety feature on the bottom, another switch that you don't know about. That switch, when you turn it on, boy, now you've got something that will get people's attention. This will give a stun to even a 350-pound man and make him cry like a little baby. If not having to use it, by just the noise, the fact that you have it, that can make someone who is trying to cause you harm run away too. So sometimes you may not even have to use it. It's just the threat of, man, listen. This is a must-have for most individuals. If you have a spouse, a wife, an older parent that just doesn't feel comfortable carrying, this may be the perfect answer for them. These things are not expensive. You can get a discount below if you use my link. So important just as a flashlight, but not only that, to be able to have something to defend yourself when people don't know that's what it is. You carry this around, you're going to be a lot more safer, and you're going to make your family feel safer, your wife feel safer, maybe it's your daughter going to school. You want to make sure that she is safe. Let the shockwave torch help you. Remember, this is one of your last days to enter, and you can enter to win this customized Rocky Ridge truck by clicking the link in the description below. Equip you and your family and your loved ones with this shockwave torch. Paint Safari is hooking you up with a major discount of even up to 80% and an extra contest entry when you use the link below. Don't wait, because this limited time offer goes away soon. They're literally fixing to draw the winner for this truck, so please make sure that you buy this now, get into the drawing, and hopefully you may walk away with the truck. But you know what? If you don't win, that's okay, because you're walking away with something that's going to give you a peace of mind to know that you can protect yourself. Check it out today. Now again, I would consider myself a conservative libertarian. I've told you that before. As a Christian conservative, I believe there is some moral relativism and there is laws that need to be had. However, the ones we have now, we have way too much regulation. Now to the libertarians. They always want to hit themselves in the head when they have opportunity. You have two big candidates, RFK and Trump, coming to speak at your convention, and then you boo Trump. Now you're like, well, it's just a bunch of libertarians. They may not like his policy. I don't really know why he spoke at this convention. I understand all that. But then they elect a guy who is for open borders, who's for just all-out freedom. What does that actually mean? When people say like they're libertarians, do you realize they're most of, like this guy that they put up there, I think his name's Chase or Chance or something like that. The guy's pushing for open borders. He believes that there should just be openness, no restrictions on what we do, no restriction on what we use. That's called anarchy. That's not called libertarianism. So be wary. I think that this shows that if you're a libertarian, you have two votes. You don't have RFK because he's a liberal. This Chase Oliver or Chance Oliver, whatever his name is, he's a liberal. You have Biden, who's 142, and then you have Trump. I think it'd be crazy for a libertarian not to vote for Trump. Also, going along with that, Trump has a monster rally in the Bronx. Now, do I believe he's going to win New York? I'm not one of those Republicans or conservatives that says, oh yeah, he's going to win it. He's going to win New York. I still don't believe he's going to win New York. But it is very encouraging to see him go and do these Bronx rallies and have just massive amounts of people there. And most of them were of minority races. So it shows he is making inroads with a lot of rappers, a lot of Latinos, and they're seeing the value of it. There was also a story that came out and said Silicon Valley billionaires are moving away from Biden. That is huge news. And they actually said they're supporting someone who looks to promote business, which is Trump. Now, I don't want Trump to be influenced by, liberal ways when some of these people are coming over, but I do believe that shows he is a true populist candidate. Even as a conservative Christian, he's not all I want for sure, but he is a lot better than anything else that's been thrown out there, especially like the libertarian candidates. No wonder they were booing Trump. The man they elected is a complete and utter anarchist liberal. One more note on that. Did you see Biden? He went to like Joseph A. Banks on vacation. There was like nobody there. There was like 4 guys there. And there was nobody like cheering him on. He got out of the car, went in Joseph A. Banks, stuttered around, bought a tie or something. Trump can't even go anywhere without just massive loads of people. That to me shows truly what this election's about. A populist candidate versus an elitist who is shopping and nobody cares. That is a big, big deal. Go back and look at that story. You'll see Biden. He walks into the Joseph A. Banks, and there's more secret security there than there is people. Now to 2 serious issues that I think we need to look at. There was a report that came out that says U.S. Navy Admiral Daryl Caudill says foreign nationals are attempting to breach U.S. Navy bases 2 to 3 times a week. Now, we mentioned this the last few days. We had the situation with the Marine Corps in Langley. We had the situation with the Chechens, the 2 Chechen guys that's trying to allegedly break into or photograph the United Special Forces Colonel yesterday. And now we hear that the United States Navy Admiral is saying we see people trying to breach our locations every 2 to 3 days. Not just Americans, foreign nationals. While your president has open borders, while the Libertarian is saying open borders, while RFK is not really talking much about it other than, oh yeah, we need to close them. You have foreign nationals literally trying to break into Navy bases. This is the U.S. Navy Admiral. Now, someone who is serving right now, that means, so he is under the Commander-in-Chief of Biden, and he says, foreign nationals are attempting to breach U.S. Navy bases 2 to 3 times a week. It's kind of like the Iron Dome. After a while, there's so much rockets shooting at the Iron Dome, 1 or 2 does fall through. It actually causes problems. If our Navy bases are getting hit 2 to 3 times a week with breaches, cyber or physical, what if all of a sudden 1 or 2 of those actually get through? Where we have true foreign nationals on our Navy bases, where we have cyber problems on our Navy bases. You know, we could solve this all by deporting and closing the border. I mean, that's all it takes. That is a easy law following. We don't have to set new laws up. We just follow the law that's on the books. Again, how can anybody tell me voting for the Democrats would make sense here? And this leads me to the last story, and this is very serious. It says, ex-CIA officer accused of spying for China pleads guilty in a Honolulu courtroom. When we allow leadership roles to these people, just like the Chechens yesterday, and like this Chinese foreign national that became a quote-unquote citizen and was going to serve as our intelligence officer to help us. Ultimately, when we have people that are not dedicated to America and America's views and America's ways, then we have spies living among us. The Chechens yesterday, allegedly, are spies. This guy has been accused and now pleads guilty in Hawaii, who literally is a 71-year-old man who pleaded guilty Friday at federal court for spying for China for over 10 years. He spied on us as a CIA officer for 10 years for China. That's a big deal. And when you have breaches in our military, when you have the fact that you have spies maybe interwoven in our government, that's when it becomes serious. Can the former president solve all this? No. Honestly, I hope he does a good job. But we have a leader right now that's so weak that we're seeing just volatility after volatility after volatility, and problem after problem after problem. We need pride in America. UK needs pride in the UK. However, they've mass migrated so many people in there. Now they're living with the repercussions that people don't want to serve. People are not happy with what they're seeing in the UK. So we wonder why they want conscription or why they want national service again. Well, because no one cares about UK's views. So if we want America to thrive, we got to make sure that we're caring for American views and that we're pushing American narrative. Not open borders. Not allowing spies to come all over here because we just allow our border to be open. Not allowing a guy who shops at Joseph A. Bank and people could care less because nobody's there. We need a populist leader who can try his hardest to help Americans. Is Trump the answer? No, Jesus is the answer. However, if we, as Christians, as conservatives, as libertarians, as people who want to see our families safe and try to gain a wisdom-seeking way of common sense, we've got to look no further than the candidates we have. Trump is the answer. You know, yesterday we talked about the Chechen thing, and you need to be stockpiling those little projectiles that I showed you. But remember, go check out Pain Safari. Yeah, you can get entered in the truck, but really that little flashlight is very important. My wife has got to go out of town in a few days, and yes, she'll have her EDC on her. She'll also have that flashlight with a stunner, and that's a game changer and gives me a peace of mind to know she's safe. Check them out below. Also, thank you so much for watching. Memorial Day is all about the people who have served us and has given us freedom. Let's not take that for granted. Happy Memorial Day. Remember, honor the people who served. And yes, they sacrificed a lot, but also remember Jesus who sacrificed everything for us too. And that's truly how we have peace. Thank you guys. God bless.